You must be our new team principal. It's so great to meet you. I'm Audrey, one of the team engineers. I'm happy to show you around. You're joining us at a pivotal time here at Mercedes. We've been top of the game for too long to settle for anything less now. With you here to lead us, and a talented team at our backs, we're ready to reclaim our crown. In this area, you have a centralized view of what a team principal needs to keep track of. The board sets season objectives for the team to achieve. Reaching them will help keep confidence high, so be sure to familiarize yourself with what's expected. You'll always be able to see what the team's next race is from here, and how long you have left to prepare. Our next Grand Prix will be the first of the season. As it's your first day, though, there's nothing urgent for you to address. Feel free to explore more, or you can select continue and sign off for the day. Once you do, time will pass, but don't worry about missing anything. You'll automatically sign back in if an important event comes up. Here's your inbox. Watch out for any email alerts. They appear when you've got an important email awaiting a response. Improving our cars is a constant process if we want to stay competitive against our rivals. New car parts are initially designed in-house by the team. They can then be manufactured and installed on either car. Each car part we design will impact different areas of a car's performance, but certain parts will have a greater impact than others. Focus on parts that improve weaknesses or will be good for upcoming races. Testing is also an important step in designing a new car part. Testing can be done through use of our wind tunnel or by using computational fluid dynamics, CFD as we call it. Your head of aerodynamics will email you a reminder when testing periods change. You can direct the engineering team to focus on specific areas of performance. F1 car parts are complex, and sometimes you'll have to sacrifice performance in one area to achieve gains in another. Aerodynamic car parts each weigh extra, and together will add weight to the car build. This will contribute to a reduction in certain areas of a car's performance. Designing aero parts with higher durability will increase condition life of a part, but any durability improvements will come with the payoff of extra weight. Lighter car parts will last for fewer races, making them more expensive on average. For each design project, you also need to decide how many engineers you want working on it and what engineering approach they should take. Bear in mind these decisions will have an impact on the duration and the cost of each project. If you want to install a new car part on a car, it's worth taking the time to compare the stats of the new part with the stats of the one already installed. You might also, any aerodynamic parts will undergo an inspection following every race weekend. If an aero parts condition is too low, it will fail the inspection and need replacing. How many races an aero part can last for is dictated by its durability, which is determined during the design phase. Let's introduce you to the team drivers. They're under contract with us for the season, and their professional development and race performance will make or break us as a team. Each driver has their own strengths, as well as areas to improve. These statistics will all affect different aspects of their driving ability. Any driver who participates in a race weekend is going to gain more experience and improve over time. You'll want to keep an eye on drivers' morale as the season progresses. The higher a driver's morale, the higher their performance for the team. A driver's morale will also affect their confidence on the track. Each race driver has an assigned race engineer who will communicate to the driver when they're in the cockpit. A driver and race engineer pairing with a higher affinity will work better together, especially important during a high-pressure race weekend. To ensure your team is developing as desired, you can set up a targeted development plan for any of your drivers. If you want to direct your staff to focus on specific areas of their development, you can do so here. It's not just the fastest car that makes a team the best in F1. It's the people doing the hard work behind the scenes. Manage your staff from here, from department heads to your pit crew, and keep up to date on their performance. Check here to see what your sporting director has planned for the pit crew. We have an excellent scouting team, and their job is to scout potential new staff members for the team. You never know what hidden gem they might be able to uncover. You can direct the scouts to carry out a standard or detailed scouting of a potential staff member, depending on the turnaround and information you need. If you think someone could be a good fit for the team, feel free to propose a contract. Just make sure you have a good idea of what they will accept in a negotiation first. From here, you can see all the team's facilities, from the staff buildings to the car parts warehouse. You can build new facilities or, if the team has the time and money, upgrade our existing ones. Facilities affect all areas of our team's performance. Over time, facilities will degrade and become less effective, so keep an eye on their condition. When this happens, we'll need to look at refurbishing or even upgrade. The board are the ones who set the expectations for the team. If they're confident in your leadership, you'll be fine. If they lose confidence in you, however, they might look to replace you. Don't forget to check in with the board often and take note of their confidence levels, as well as the team's progress towards a greater rating. Running an F1 team is expensive, and careful finance management is essential. You can see our current balance. Most of the team's budget is decided by the board at the start of the season. There's also whatever income we get from last season's prize money and any extra sponsorship revenue we earn. Whenever you're making financial decisions, make sure you're considering our cost cap. It's a mandatory spending cap on team transactions, with certain exceptions. If we go over the cost cap, whether intentionally or by accident, the team will receive a fine. Income from sponsorships is vital for a team, and there are different ways we can increase our revenue through sponsorship. Outside of a race weekend, we will gain ongoing passive income through scheduled sponsorship events over the season. Just bear in mind that these sponsorship obligations will interrupt day-to-day management of the team in some way. For example, an event might mean the factory output is paused, temporarily increasing. The pit crew are a vital part of our team. Their reliability and speed can make a big difference to a race outcome. When they're back at HQ in between races, the pit crew can train to improve in different areas. The pit crew development plan will focus on a balanced training approach, but you can give them further instruction and focus on a specific area. The pit crew are always so busy training. You can access the team's training schedule through the calendar, and from there customize the current plan right down to a daily breakdown. Just bear in mind that as the pit crew's job, and therefore training, is very physical, they can become fatigued and as a result more prone to making mistakes. Remember, the constructor with the highest number of fastest pit stops will win the DHL Fastest Pit Stop Award at the end of the year. Once you're happy with the pit crew training schedule, make sure to confirm it. You can take a look at sponsorship performance targets here. Here we've got the performance targets for this coming weekend. If we meet these targets, we'll gain extra revenue. If we don't meet the target, it won't cost the team anything.
A very warm welcome to you all. It sure does feel good to be back. Every team and driver comes here with the same goal, to win. But that's for the end of the season. For now...
Welcome to your first race weekend with the team. A normal race weekend starts with 3 practice sessions, a knockout qualifying session, and then the race itself. Later in the season, we'll encounter some different formats, such as a sprint weekend. Once you're ready, we can move on. Over here is our race preparation area. This is where you can make any changes you need ahead of the upcoming practice session. The team will put together a run plan for the session, but you can review and make changes to it. Feel free to look at the run plan and the different options available. Then we can move on when you're ready. During race weekends, you can decide whether you want to manage the practice sessions yourself. As it's your first race weekend, you should let the team handle the practice sessions. To help maximise our drivers' performance, the team and you, on future weekends, will have them work on 3 goals during practice: track acclimatisation, car parts knowledge, and car setup. Having your drivers progress towards these 3 goals will improve their preparation level, which will then affect their confidence across the whole race weekend. Whenever you manage practice yourself, use the time to experiment with the balance of the car. And make sure you give the drivers long enough on track to feed back on their car setup.
Welcome everyone to qualifying.
Right, time for qualifying. Our results here will determine where we start on the grid for Sunday's race. Qualifying takes place over 3 knockout rounds, and only the fastest drivers will advance each time. Same as practice, the team can handle qualifying for you if you like. Let's get you hands-on for this round though, just to make sure you're feeling confident before race day kicks off. Our drivers need to be setting their fastest possible lap times, so we can advance to the next period of qualifying. The slowest 5 cars will be sitting. Right then, let's get a car out on the track for its first run and see how it goes.
Radio check.
Yep.
Our radio's out and clear.
Radio check. Radio's loud and clear, Lewis.
We should do some work on the brakes.
Yeah, copy, all good.
I know everything happens so fast over a race weekend, but if you need to catch your breath, you can pause for as long as you like. Of course, if things aren't moving fast enough for you, you can speed things up instead. The map view here gives you a good overview of the whole track and all the cars. Each car is also fitted with a number of onboard cameras, so you can view the race from different... Remember, you're managing 2 drivers throughout the session, so make sure to keep an eye on both of them. You can even watch from the driver's visor cam, which will really get you up close and personal with... A driver's confidence level can be impacted throughout a race weekend, both negatively and positively by on-track events. You can keep an eye on each driver's confidence level here. A driver with higher confidence will have an increased performance and a lower risk of on-track incidents. A driver with lower confidence will see a decrease. Great! That's our first flying lap in the bank. Keep an eye on the stand-ins throughout the session to make sure we stay out of the elimination zone. When your flying laps are finished, the driver will automatically return to the garage.
And just get that delta negative. And we will box end of this lap.
Yep. Stand the delta. Okay, let's call the car and we'll box. Understood.
Our driver has returned to the garage. You need to reconfigure the car before we can send them back out. Let's go and take a look. Here you can see all the available tyre compounds for the weekend. You need to use at least 2 different compounds during a dry race. We're through to Q2. Great work. In Q2, the fastest 15 cars from Q1 battle it out for only 10 places in Q3. Now let's push even harder for a place in Q3.
The excitement is building, there's electricity in the air, but there's no...
A single set of tyres will wear down completely before the end of the race. So we're going to need to make at least 1 pit stop per driver to change tyres at some point. Don't forget, each pit stop taken will add time to that lap. So we need to think carefully about when to pit and why. You should consider setting a tyre strategy for each driver ahead of the race. We need to make sure we have a good plan for when we want the cars to pit. Every race weekend, the team will prepare some recommended strategies to choose from. Let's see what they suggest for this race. You can take a look over the different recommended strategies here. If you like the look of one of the team's suggestions, you can go ahead and select it now. If you think a different approach could work, you can make changes to any of the team strategies or even create one from scratch. We can always adapt our strategy during the race, so we can respond quickly to changing conditions. Once you're happy with one strategy, check in with the other driver to confirm theirs as well. You should consider picking a different strategy for each driver. This gives us a chance to take advantage of in-race events and means we won't have both cars pitted on the same lap.
Here in Sakir, the floodlights are on, and it's nearly time for 57 laps around the Bahrain International Circuit. Here's a determined Sainz lining up on the grid. Here we go with the Bahrain Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
Don't forget that even if you have a strategy already set, you'll still need to let the driver know when to pit. Here you can see all the tyre compounds available this weekend. When making any changes, just be sure you're considering both the condition and the compound of the selected tyre. If needed, you can also use a pit stop to replace the front wing. During the race, achieving a quick pit stop time is vital if your driver is to maintain their position on the track. Time things well, and they might even gain a place or two. However, mistakes can happen, You can keep track of individual tyre wear and condition here. Each tyre compound has an optimal temperature range during which the tyre performs its best. An overheating tyre will wear faster, whereas a tyre that is too cold will lack grip and therefore reduce a car's lap time. Oversee powertrain parts condition, risk of damage and rate of wear. Aerodynamic parts can suffer damage of differing levels, and whereas some parts can be replaced during a weekend or even a race, major damage could force a car to retire.
Yeah, don't sweat it.
If a driver needs an additional performance boost for a short time, they can adjust their ERS mode and use any battery charge they have. There are several ERS commands. Some will focus on deploying energy for additional pace, and others on harvesting energy for later use. If a driver is entering a battle situation where they might need the extra power for an overtake attempt or to defend against one, then you can direct them to deploy energy as they see fit through Battle Assist. Fuel commands instruct the driver on how to manage their car's fuel consumption. Make sure to keep an eye on the remaining fuel for each car. If a car runs out of fuel, it will be forced to retire.
Now we've got an incident here, and as I understand it, George Russell's involved. Right then, we can take a look now. It was George Russell involved. Pushing a bit too hard at this point. Oh, and the car's there, unable to keep out of each other's way. And they'll have to pick themselves up after that. And while all that was happening, the crew in the garage could do nothing.
An overtake will be available.
It always pays to talk tactics with the drivers. You can instruct them to respond to a number of different situations that might occur on the track. For example, when trying to overtake. This gives you more control over driver behaviour while allowing you to manage the level of risk they will take. There are several other unique situational tactics that drivers can also use, from avoiding dirty air to not battling with a teammate. If you want to review or adjust your race strategy, you can use Strategy View to do so. For a deeper understanding of how the race is playing out, it pays to keep an eye on the data view. The data view is an important area to track during the race. It gives you a deep dive into race data, including lap times for all of the team's drivers. Here, you can also view how the current session could affect the drivers' and constructors' championship stats. You can also check the latest lap and sector times for all drivers and see an overview of their tyre conditions. As the race progresses, remember to keep an eye on your planned strategy. Use the strategy, as well as using the strategy view to check on each driver's strategy. You can also edit, adjust, or even change a strategy entirely. Controlling pace here will help you manage a car's tyre temperature and condition. Keep an eye on the tyre condition of both cars. Over time, tyre condition will fall, reducing their grip and performance, eventually leading to tyre failures and car retirement. When you set a strategy for a car, a pit window will be created, during which it is recommended to call for a pit stop. The race engineer will also alert you to the optimal pit lap for your strategy. Throughout race weekend sessions, including the race itself, you'll want to be using pit stops to manage and adjust a car's setup, as well as deal with any areas of wear or damage. Just remember it's up to you when to pit a car. The optimal window is just a guide. As a tyre is used, the tread will gradually wear away. This wear rate is impacted by several factors, including the tyre compound and the driver's pace command. An overheat
So happy to push now.
Temps are climbing. Temps are now climbing. So head down.
Understood.
Temps are getting high.
Yep.
Just need to make sure to keep these tyres in good nick.
This is the optimal pit lap for this race. In a full race, the tyres on a car will need changing at least once, which means at least one pit stop.
Box.
Gonna box this up.
Your tyre tops.
think about left lifting coast.
Understood.
Max Verstappen over the finish line and today's winner.
Use the overtake.
Yeah, you take the checkered flag.
So you've taken the flag. So that's P6. Good job today, mate.
Let's keep pushing, guys.
But George, it just wasn't a good day, was it?
Well, I think most people expected them to really deliver here, but it's a disappointing finish outside the points.
Well, Max Verstappen can add yet